Man City fans have had plenty to smile about over the weekend, haven't they? As they've watched their side cruise to an emphatic 6-0 win at Ipswich Town in the Premier League. City's joint biggest away win in the Premier League era, and their biggest away win in any competition since beating Watford 6-0 back in September 2017. City have now gone 6 games unbeaten in all competitions, five unbeaten in the Premier League, and they're now beginning to show signs maybe of the City of old, aren't they? What impressed you about City's win over Ipswich, Stephen, and what are the main things you've taken away from that win at Portman Road?
Um, a couple of things mainly. Firstly, probably the ruthlessness. That is something that Manchester City have absolutely been lacking for an awful long time. And Guardiola's made a very public point of talking about how his forwards need to score goals. They need to get goals, assists. They need to support Erling Haaland because that's what we did. And he talked at one point, referencing back when we had Sterling, Sane, Aguero, Gabriel Jesus, Riyad Mahrez, people scoring goals, you don't win titles, and I'm paraphrasing a bit, but he said something like, "If you win trophies, you need people scoring lots of goals." And I think City, even during their bad spell when we lost lots of games, we still could have won some of them if we'd just taken some chances. But City were very, very wasteful in front of goal, wasteful defensively, poor on the transition, really open. But ultimately, they were still creating chances because of the quality that City have got, and we just weren't taking those chances. I think City are still going to concede lots of chances because that midfield issue hasn't been fixed and probably won't for a while yet. But City right now, the thing that's exciting me is that they're scoring goals again. And this is why games like the Salford game, which people play down as just Salford, this is why they matter because ultimately professional footballers live to score goals. It's the most exciting thing in football. And if you do that and you put eight past the team, it does help your confidence. And it's not a surprise then, that you end up with a 6-0, in the Premier League as well. So for me, yeah, I think the team looked really ruthless in front of goal. Phil Foden, of course, firing up the goal tally charts now for Man City. I think he's our second highest scorer or joint second highest now after a really slow start to the season. Doku getting on the score sheet as well. Kovacic scoring. De Bruyne getting a whole bunch of assists. It just looks like City have found their confidence in front of goal, and I think that will make up for some of the defensive deficiencies that City have got. And the second thing that really impressed me probably was the composure. I know it's only Ipswich, and I know they've struggled a lot, but they're a very hard side to go to this season at Portman Road. Kieran McKenna's got a very organised, very strong side, very aggressive and fearless side. And, so many good teams, like they beat Chelsea and like Arsenal had a tough time there as well. So many teams have gone there and struggled. And City, I saw signs of, it was like a fever dream, waking up from a fever dream. I saw signs of City of old, keeping the ball towards the end and death by a thousand passes and just keeping our head a little bit, keeping it simple. It looked like City were playing as themselves again, ruthless in front of goal, confident, but also keeping the ball and passing it around nicely, and definitely a lot more secure in defence, given the return of Ruben Diaz.
Yeah, it was great to see City win in that manner. I think it was also great to see several different players contributing to goals as well. They've been relying on Haaland early this
Yeah,
season, but in this game there were five different goal scorers on the day. I think it was the first time as well in 4 years that we've seen three City players both score and assist. So it's great to see them all sharing it
yeah.
around. One of the standout performers you just mentioned there was Phil Foden. He's now enjoying a purple patch. He didn't score in any of his first 10 Premier League games, but he's now got 6 in 6. How impressed were you by him in particular?
Yeah, I think there's another level to go as well for Phil, actually. But the most important thing is he looks hungry. These movements there again. He's getting into those positions. And I think, actually, even though he likes playing as a 10, I think a stint out on the right and letting Kevin De Bruyne do his thing is helping him a little bit because the focus isn't entirely on him because Kevin De Bruyne is back and he's a genius, godlike creator, amazing. So he's taken the responsibility on his shoulders as he always does, the wonderful player. And I think Foden's actually having a little bit of time out wide, a little bit of, he's got familiarity with that role, even if it isn't his preferred role. But it's allowing him to sort of drift around a little bit, make those runs as De Bruyne links up with Doku on the left. And yeah, I thought he was good. He looked confident. I mean, there is another level to go. I think he's definitely, maybe his dribbling isn't quite there yet. He doesn't look fully, electric, but that'll just come with confidence. I think Guardiola said afterwards that Phil Foden, he's too talented to once again, I'm sort of paraphrasing, but he implied he's too talented not to do well if his head's in the right place, if he's enjoying his football. And that's true. There was a couple of nice moments where he played really nice crossfield passes, nice diagonals. His movement was good. He got his celebration out again, which is a good sign that his head's in the right place. Yeah, he just looked sharp. His touch was good. Didn't give the ball away. His movement was excellent. Really nice finishes. He's got a very good sense of goal, Phil Foden. Like he knows he's got good movement. You can tell that false nine stint a few years back really helped his development that way because they were strikers' finishers. And Phil Foden, if Man City are at their very best, Phil Foden is usually a part of that. And I don't think we can really achieve what we want to without Phil Foden contributing the way that he does.